Hello, my name's Leah, and I'm a developer on the VSTS IntelliJ plugin. Today I'm going to talk to you about specifically the TFVC portion of the plugin. Right now, TFVC is a new part that we've added to the plugin, and the plan for this talk is to go over the basics of the plugin first in case you're unfamiliar with it, and then go over the current TFVC functionality that's in the plugin. Then I want to give you a quick demo of that functionality so you can see it in action. After that, I want to address the future planned functionality pertaining to TFVC for the plugin. And then at the end, I have some resources that I want to share with you so that you can find out more information about the plugin or contact us if you have any questions. So for our basics, in case you're unfamiliar with our plugin, the plugin supports both TFVC and Git. We started with Git support first, and now we've added TFVC support. Right now it's in preview mode for the current version of the plugin 1.111.1. The support that we have right now, we started with just very basic support and have been adding onto it and getting more customized support for TFVC into the plugin now, and we are continuing to add more and more support with each release. Right now we only support local workspaces, and I could talk more to that later on. And also, so you know, we support team services and TFS 2015 and up, so you can log in with either or. The one requirement that we do have is you must install the TF command line tool separately. The TFVC functionality depends on the tool. It calls out to it for making any type of TFVC call. We recommend versions 14.03 and up, and later on I'll have a link to where you can download that. And lastly, our plugin is compatible with most JetBrains, if not all JetBrains IDEs. So there's the base IDE IntelliJ, and built upon that are a lot of the different other IDE flavors that JetBrains offers, including PyCharm and PHP Storm, and Google's Android Studio is also built off of it. So our plugin supports all of those. So next, here's the current feature set that we have for TFVC. I'm not going to read through it, but you can look through it yourself. It basically has your basic file system operations and version control operations. And like I said, we're building upon this more, but this is what we have in the current version of the plugin. So next, let's give you a demo of this plugin. So I'm going to go to IntelliJ. I already have it open, but let's say I want to start with a new project. I'm going to come up to the top here. Oh, actually, before I start that, one thing that I should mention is if you go under Preferences, and once you have our plugin installed, like I mentioned earlier, you have to have the TF command line tool installed so that the TFVC functionality actually works. If you look under Version Control and TFVC, you'll see this is where you set the path for where you installed your TF command line tool. So just make sure you have the path set, and you can do a test, and what it does is it comes back and verifies that the TF command line tool is able to work for you. So okay, so we're good to go to start. So what I want to do is I want to come up to the top here, and I want to create a new project from version control. You can see this is our Git support that I talked about earlier. But for this demo, we're going to concentrate on TFVC. So I'm going to come here, and I'm already logged in under my Team Services account, but like I mentioned before, you can do Team Foundation Server if you would like. So I come over here, and I'm going to select my repository and come down here and get my directory name. Now my directory name is also what my workspace name will be, so it has to be unique to the machine that you are working on. So I'm going to do Leah Demo. It's going to be my name, and I'm also going to edit the workspace before getting the sources here and create the workspace. So what this does for me is it allows me to look at my workspace and edit it before I do any type of actual creation of the workspace and pulling down the files from the server. So I see here in my workspace properties that I have the ability to do my workspace mapping here. And it has mapped automatically the top directory in my repository. But let's say that you want to change the mappings, and let's say you want to cloak a directory and you don't want it to come down off of the server. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cloak this directory. I know the name of it is deepspace.uat. That's the server path. I will not have a local path, so I'm going to remove that. And so now when I clone this or check out this repository, it'll pull down all the files in it except for this directory and what's underneath it. So let me go ahead and save this workspace here, and we'll see as it creates and pulls down the files, we can verify then that you are able to properly map your workspace how you would like. So we'll give it 1 second. Okay, loading. Here it is. Now we want to come over here and you can see your repository has been checked out. In the version control tab from the bottom, you can see you have local changes. The pull request tab is actually for if you use the Get repositories, so there's nothing to look at for TFVC. And you also have the Work Items tab. And the Work Items tab is great because you can see work items based on the query you have selected. It defaults to assigned to me. So right now I'm looking at everything that is all the work that I have assigned to myself. So what I want to do next is, let's say I want to start some work. I want to go in here and I want to create a branch, let's say. And if you right click in the project window here, you see that the drop down menu has a TFVC menu option. And this gives you all the TFVC functionality that we offer. So if we go here and we do create branch, and it's going to, let's see, we want to create this branch that I want to do my work off of. So I'm going to say dev and then Leah demo will be my branch name. And I'm also going to create a local copy of the branch, so it's pulled down on my local machine here so that I can make my changes in it. The branch will be created on the server as well, and then I can start doing some work in it. So we'll give it a second here to create, and it also will do a sync with IntelliJ sometimes. What will happen here is, here we go. The branch is created, and what I was saying is IntelliJ sometimes needs to be refreshed here to pick up the new directory that was created, and there we go. So here's my branch. We can see here it's the exact same as source that we branched from. And what I'm looking here is, I'm ready to start my work. I have my branch, and I'm ready to go. So I look at my work items and I can see here that some work that's been assigned to me is a bug to fix my broken unit test. And I can see down here at the bottom right, this icon, this little red X, says that my build has failed 21 minutes ago. And now what this indicates is that this is a build that is associated with my repository. So if you have a CI build or something that's going to that's associated with your repository, the status of it comes up here, and you can view the details in the browser or queue a new build, but you're able to see if something has gone wrong, and otherwise you'd have a little green check mark there indicating your build has passed. So I'm going to come over here and start looking into this issue of the broken unit test. So under tests, I look and I see I have an image service test. And if I look for that class up here, I have image service. So I open image service and I come down here and I see I have 4 images. I have a sun, an Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn. So I have 4 images that I'm creating here. And if I open up this unit test, I see right away here, when I get my images, I'm asserting that there's only 3 images. And I just pointed out we actually have 4 images. So the build is probably breaking on this unit test from what it looks like. And we actually have the correct line of code here that we can comment in. So what I want to do is, before I start making changes to fix this test, let's say I want to lock this file to make sure that nobody tries to check in this file while I'm doing work to it. So what I'm going to do is come here and right click on this image service test, and I'm going to go back to the TFVC window here and look, and we have an option to lock and unlock files. So I'm going to click on that, and right here I have my file selected, and I'm going to do a check and lock on this file. So now this file is locked and nobody else can check in changes to it, and I'm going to make my changes now. So I come in here and I comment out the incorrect line, and I comment in the correct assertion here. And we can actually see, if we go to local changes here, you can see that that change shows up in the local changes, and if I do a diff, you can see that the file, or the lines in the file that have been changed. Okay, now something else that you might notice is there's an image class, but there's no image test. So there's no unit test for the image class here. So to show you some other functionality that we have, if you do new file, and I'm going to do an image test file here. It's going to create this new file, and it's going to prompt you if you want to add it to TFVC, so TFVC tracks it. So I'm going to select yes, and I'm going to come up here, and just for now I'm going to make a to-do to add tests. So I have this new test file. And we can see down below here that image test has been added and is being tracked in our local changes. For the sake of time and redundancy, I'm not going to show you all the specific file system options that we have, but just like with any sort of other version control, you can add, delete, roll back, move, and rename your files, and TFVC will track it here. And it'll show up in the local changes window. So next, I edited my files, I created a new file. Let's do a check-in here. So I'm going to select the files that have changed that I want to check in. I go back to my TFVC menu and I say check-in files. And I come up here and I see I have these 2 files I want to check in. For the sake of this demo, I'm not going to perform any code analysis or to-dos. But what we do provide here is we have our own little icon here that lets you select work items to associate with this check-in. So I come in here, and this check-in is fixing the broken unit test bug that I have here. So I click OK, and I do check-in. And what's great about this is now you have the traceability where you can go and see the change sets that fix this bug. And you're able to go back and forth, and if you see this bug later, in the future, and you're not sure what actually changed to fix it, you can find it. So if I go to this notification message here, change set 57 is what that check-in was. You can see the diff here, and you can also see that bug 19 was fixed with it. So it's really nice, like I said, to have that traceability. So next, let me show you, if I go to Files and I go to my repository here and I'm looking, something that obviously can happen very easily in day-to-day work is your coworker comes in and let's say they're editing a file and they check it in. So they come in here and they look at the README and they think, wow, there's not a lot in this README. So they come in here and they add a to-do, you know, add more to this README, and they save. So I made this update, but on my end, I'm looking back in IntelliJ, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I should probably make a note that we haven't written a lot of unit tests for some of these classes. So I'm going to write here, make sure to add unit tests. Well, I make this change to my README, and let's say I keep on working and I haven't checked it in, but I want to do an update on my repository. So I come in here and I look at the update directory option. So this is going to bring down all the changes that have been made on the server. So it looks through and it finds a conflict. And we know that the conflict is the README, and it's a content conflict. In this case, you have an option to accept yours, which will take the local change, accept theirs, which will take the server change, or you can do a merge. So let's look at the merge option here. And what's nice about this is you're going to get a three-way diff. You can see the local version, the server version, and your base version here. And what I actually want to do is I want to keep both of these changes, so I'm going to merge them in. And you can see there that both lines will come in and I can save the file because the conflict is resolved. And now our update's complete, our conflict's resolved, and down here in the window it shows you with the update that's happened at this time, a merge has happened, and that's it. If you would pull down new files or files would be deleted, everything would show up in this window here, giving you an kind of like an update on what has happened to your local workspace. So now that we're done with making these changes, let me just show you briefly a few more things that we have available to you. And here you can come and you can also see history. So if you want to see history for a specific directory, specific file, you have that option, and it also allows you to go and see the comments with it and do diffs between different change sets. We also have the ability, if you come in here, if you want to merge or branch changes back, you can have that. You can apply labels. And one thing I do want to show you in this apply labels dialog is that and this is with all the dialogues that we have. We always have a feedback option at the bottom here, and if you don't see the word feedback, you'll probably see a smiley or frowny face instead. And what this does, it directly sends feedback to me and the other developers working on this plugin. And we would really love to hear what you have to say, what you might want, what bugs you've hit. We really appreciate finding these things out so we can make the plugin better for you. So please feel free to send any type of feedback back to us. Now if I go back to the slides here, so right now this is what we have planned for our future TFVC features, ranging from adding the ability to support TFS proxies. Like I mentioned earlier, we only support local workspaces, but we have it on our roadmap that we want to add in support for server workspaces. We have file annotation, experiences that we already have. Lastly, this is just some more information for yourself. We are out on GitHub. Please feel free to open issues in that manner. If you run into bugs again, instead of sending feedback through the plugin, you could talk to us via GitHub. We have documentation online that goes through it. It's a nice tutorial if you want to look at it with some more details and some more links. It also talks more about our Git functionality as well if you're interested. We have a list of our demo videos at the third link there. So we have many more of these videos out on YouTube, and please feel free to look through them so you can learn some more. And lastly, like I mentioned earlier, this is the link to the TF command line tool that you will need to download. It's named TE-CLC, and that's the tool that you need to download and install to get the TFVC functionality working for the plugin. So thank you very much for your time today. Hope you enjoy the plugin, and like I said, please contact us with any questions you have. Thank you.